When I mention the term FNAF merch, what springs to mind? I'd imagine that most of you instantly thought of Funko or Sanshee. Heck, maybe even some of the newer faces such as Hex and U2s. But how many of you thought about Goodstuff? Actually, a lot of you probably did because you already know it's the topic of the video, but that's besides the point. What I'm getting at is that Goodstuff is very overlooked. Hey, I personally find their FNAF products very charming, but maybe I'm just biased because I have very fond memories of winning their FNAF plushies and making really stupid videos with them. But hey, strap yourselves in because we're looking at the old, the new, prototypes of never released products and so much more. So without further ado, let's journey through the history of Goodstuff Five Nights at Freddy's plushies. So Goodstuff made their FNAF debut in around the summer of 2016 with the release of plushies for the classic 4 animatronics. We all know them, Freddy, Bonnie, Chica and Foxy of course. These plushies come in a wide range of sizes, and that's because Goodstuff's FNAF plushies are made to be won at the likes of Carnival and arcades only. So Goodstuff made these plushies in plenty of different sizes so that they could accommodate any claw machine out there. And that's why Goodstuff's FNAF plushies are a tad bit more cheaply made than other FNAF plushies, because they're meant to be won at the likes of carnivals, as opposed to being sold at massive retailers. And because of this, the quality control of Goodstuff's FNAF plushies was terrible. A specific plush could range from looking really good to downright awful. And it was issues like this that brought around the common misconception that I still see people falsely believe today. That being that Goodstuff's FNAF products are unofficial. But that would be wrong. All of Goodstuff's FNAF products are 100% official. So believe it or not, these guys are authentic. Oh yeah, back to Goodstuff's Wave 1 of FNAF plushies. Now honestly, I think these plushies look really nice. They're very similar to Funko Sanshee's, just cheaper. Well, except for Chica, because for whatever reason companies just love trying to make their own unique Chica plushies that aren't accurate to the in-game model, and they always go ahead and f*** it up. So overall it was a solid start to Goodstuff's FNAF presence, and really highlighted what they wanted to be. I've got all of these guys in multiple sizes in my collection, and I'm proud to have them. Now in terms of prototypes for these plushies, none have ever resurfaced, but we've gotten pretty close as factory samples of these plushies in different sizes have resurfaced online for sale. Now these are nothing too special because the plushies look pretty much identical to the released ones, but they do have those one-of-a-kind sample tags, and of course they're worth a lot more money. Now around the same time that Goodstuff released these plushies, they released another set of the classic 4 FNAF 1 animatronics, which were a lot more unique and stylized. Just like all of Goodstuff's other FNAF plushies, these were made for the likes of Carnival and arcades, and so came in a large variety of different sizes. Now these plushies are totally different to any other FNAF plushies we've ever seen before, from their expressions to their stylized bodies, and the probably unintentional feature that you can stuff their bodies into their head. And while I appreciate the fact that Goodstuff was trying to be different, I really don't like any of these plushies. These plushies are extremely cheap, littered with printing and full of inaccuracies. I've only got a small Freddy from this set, and I didn't willingly get him. He was just randomly in a pre-owned FNAF plush bundle. And no, I have no desire to reunite him with any of his friends. Now, there haven't been any discovered prototypes of these plushies, but there have been for other unreleased chibi plushies. More on that later. Now, things were very quiet in 2017 between FNAF and Goodstuff, but then in around May 2018, we got Series 2 of the Goodstuff FNAF plushies. Now this was a very diverse set of plushies containing Sister Location and FNAF 2 plushies. For Sister Location we got Circus Baby, Funtime Freddy, Funtime Foxy and Ennard, and then for FNAF 2 we got Mangle, Balloon Boy and the Puppet. And again, just like all other Goodstuff FNAF plushies, these come in all sorts of sizes. And honestly, I really liked this set. Sure, their FNAF 1 plush set was pretty cool, but it was very bland because all the plushies looked very similar to already released and more premium plushies. But these guys, now goddamn were they unique. Sure, they were still cheaply made and had some very questionable design decisions, but I think they are pretty nice and some of them honestly look totally rad. And now, I know a lot of people disliked Funko's sister location set, especially for their humanoid bodies, but here now with Goodstuff's sister location plushies, they've all got the iconic stubby FNAF plush bodies. Yeah, Circus Baby and Funtime Freddy definitely look ugly, but Funtime Foxy and especially Ennard do look really good in my opinion. And as for their FNAF 2 plushies, well, the puppet's just a bland, degraded version of Funko's. However, I do really like how they portrayed Funtime Foxy, and I've always been a big fan of Goodstuff's Balloon Boy. I again own a bunch of these guys, and I really like them. And now for a very interesting part, because there were plans for a Series 2 of those stylized chibi plushies. It's more than likely that this set was gonna contain chibi versions of the 7 characters in Series 2. We can also conclude that these plushies were gonna release at the same time as the regular Series 2 plushies. But it wasn't until over 2 years after this wave was scrapped that we learned of its existence. We were first exposed to these plushies in 2020 via a Reddit post by Ducky730, which was posted to Reddit and was showcasing their FNAF merch collection. Now, what's instantly eye-catching about this collection is that it contains samples of never-before-seen chibi puppet and Mangle plushies. Now, I'm a total sucker for lost media, so this was super fascinating, and we could only speculate if there was an existence of chibi Balloon Boy and Sister Location plushies. And you want to know the best part about this? Ducky was able to get these sample puppet and Mangle plushies from a school carnival of all places. Now, we'd be speculating for 2 years until suddenly, in July 2022, a chibi Goodstuff Circus Baby resurfaces on eBay. And now this was awesome, because it confirmed that it's more than likely that the other 3 sister location plushies also had sample chibi plushies roaming out there somewhere. And this baby instantly sold over on eBay for $250, so God knows how much they could have priced it at and still got it sold for. And then another year later in 2023, both Funtime Freddy and Funtime Foxy resurfaces. The same owner also owns Puppet and Mangle, presumably the same ones that were passed on from Ducky. And now we anticipate whether a chibi Balloon Boy and Ennard exist and if they're gonna resurface. Oh, the merch mysteries never get old. Now let's move on to 2019 when Goodstuff released their Series 3 of FNAF plushies, those being the Blacklight set. Yep, totally inspired, or bluntly copied from Funko, from the concept to the character selection. So they released 2 variants each for Freddy, Foxy, and the Cupcake. They look okay, and they come in a variety of sizes of course. Now these plushies are actually significantly rarer than Goodstuff's previous FNAF plushies, prototypes excluded obviously. You see, these plushies only released in the US, and in much lower quantities than the previous 2 waves. So, especially for me living here in the UK, these plushies are very hard to come across. Now, I've got 1 Freddy and 1 Cupcake, which I got exported from the US in a FNAF plush bundle, and I could have always got the others, but again, I just don't really have any desire to. They look fine, but I just don't really want or need them. Now, those Blacklight plushies released in early 2019. In summer 2019, we got Keychain FNAF plushies. And these guys are also harder to come across. They were again made in less quantities, and these only released in Europe. Only Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, and Foxy saw release, however there were 15 intended to initially release. We know this from Puppet Steve's 2019 Toy Fair video, where we can see packaging where it says that there were 15 of these to collect, and they were probably going to be blind bags originally as well. There were only 3 plushies displayed at the Toy Fair, one of which being a prototype of Freddy, which has some mild differences, and then what would have caught your eyes is these unreleased L Chip and Egg Baby plushies. Now, I've always been super intrigued with this set, so much so that I've made a very unnecessary video about them, But with these ones and the 4 that did release, that's only 6, so we have no idea about the other 9. Well, that changed recently when a prototype Funtime Chica plushie resurfaced, the L-Chip. Again, another super fascinating discovery, and I really wish this released, because not only is there no other Funtime Chica plushies, but she's also a very interesting character. But even then, that's only 7 of the 15 characters that were planned for this set. So who are the other 8, and do prototypes of them exist out there? Only time will tell. Goddamn, I love these mysteries. Now, after this point in 2019, the relationship between Goodstuff and FNAF seemingly vanished, not until they randomly came back just a few months ago in 2023. Now, Goodstuff's officially back, and they've dropped plushies of the 4 Glamrocks. All these look pretty neat, and they're all stylized, but at least the stylization and the look of them is definitely better than those horrendous previous stylized plushies. And of course, it's super nice to have FNAF plushies that are out in arcades and carnivals right now as we speak, because of course all those previous Goodstuff FNAF plushies have been out of production for years. And with that, our Goodstuff journey ends, and that's where we stand right now, and hopefully with their new security breach plushies just haven't had recently released, hopefully Goodstuff's back in the game again and are going to come out with more. And what I deem even more importantly, I hope we can just continue digging up even more prototypes. So that does it for a look back through the history of Goodstuff's FNAF license. It was quite the trip indeed, and that's pretty much everything. Thanks for watching everyone, and I'll see you next time.
Machine, I see no peace. I'll kill those that discarded me. Metal to your skull and have you closer to my likeness, G. That boy trying to flex, sticky savage, too lost in his Z. 3 different bullets ripping through his spleen.